Well, hello there, everyone. My first time streaming on a Tuesday. How's everyone doing today? We are about to change the ground texture in this area. Well, not this specific one, but the roots ground that I have. I'm not a huge fan of it, so I'm going to fix it up a little bit. Hello there. How are both of you doing today? Let's see, I need to find this texture so I can see it in action. Okay, yeah. This one there, that needs to go. So we're going to change that. This will take just a moment. Have to open up the texture I'm going to use in GIMP, separate the channels so I can set it up the way I need to. I'm pretty good, just still waking up a little bit. I'm not a morning person at all. Let's see. So the mask we're going to use... the one... There it is. I'm going to use the moss mask. Okay, so we just have to bring this texture down here. Yes, I feel the same. Stream day is always a good day. Got ambient occlusion, displacement. You have to export these. And I guess I would have already been working on the map anyways, so streaming at the same time makes it even better. So what we have to do here when I add a different landscape texture, we use a specific type of mask for the landscape material, so I need to make any new textures match that mask. And it's on my other monitor right now, but it's putting them together. We can go ahead and start replacing this while it's doing that. This is the texture we're waiting on. Hopefully this one turns out decent. It's harder than it might seem to find a good texture for the landscape. There we go. Okay, it is done being put together. Oh, well, I'll still be streaming on Thursday too. Then we can cover all the bases. But I get it. I also have quite a bit of school. Now let's see how it looks. I'd say that's a pretty good look. A bit closer to the other one, which is initially why I didn't use one like this, but the roots just weren't doing it. So I think this will do, at least for now. We'll try it out, see how we feel in a bit. But today we're going to spend some time over here, and then another thing I've been working on recently is populating the rest of the map. So we're going to do some of that too. I just happened to pick the jungle to start with as a place to touch up. So first thing we're going to do, I've been working on different foliage distribution. So I think we're going to touch that up. Excellent. I always love seeing familiar names. So we have to replace a few of these. I made an alternate growth pattern that'll make it a little less dense in some areas. I think overall it'll be a good thing. I'll leave those rocks the way they were. Oh, I don't have debris over here. Well, we need to fix that. Perfect. So for this area, we just have to re-simulate what's already here. Oh, whoops. I moved that to the wrong area. But we're not going to simulate the debris right now, probably, because that often takes a little bit, but oh, okay, I see. Just double checking where everything is. It's a bit of a large map, so okay, so I actually did cover this area with debris. Okay, so let's try out the trees first, see how that looks. It'll look like it's frozen for a moment while it replaces them, and then we're going to go through and manually touch up where they spawn. But the goal is, when I set up these procedural volumes, it'll grow it the way that I would have painted it. Generally, this takes about a minute or two. It's the debris that takes forever. That can take a solid 20 minutes because of how many of them it's placing. I know this is sheer excitement, but it's okay. It'll be worth it. As for mods, I know the programmers have discussed it a bit. I don't know how viable it is because of keeping out cheating, that kind of thing, and our server setup. I'm not very familiar with how we have our servers set up. It's never really been my area of expertise, but I'm sure there will be more said about it. I don't think right now there are plans for mods because of a technical limitation, but I may be wrong about that. Hopefully this won't take too much longer. I apologize for the wait. I'm hoping so. It would definitely be cool. Just not my area, so I'm not too certain on their plans on it. There we go. Okay, so the goal is to give it a little more variation. So we're going to have to do one more simulation. I know it takes a moment, but overall much faster than manually painting everything when I can just go back and touch it up. Now we replace these. I'll replace the smaller debris and that kind of stuff later on once I'm off the stream, because that does take a little while. But my goal is, and it's not going to do this automatically, so I'll have to do this part manually. My goal is to have a little bit more clear area around this lake or pond here. But right here it was a little bit too dense before, so this will fix that. Definitely going to keep looking through different ground textures for this area. Good morning. You caught me at a boring part. I'm waiting on procedural volume. At the moment, probably mostly the same plants as the rest of the jungle, but I'm still actively making more of them, so we should have a little more variation soon, although I do already use probably 20 different plants, something like that. But I just started making some banana plants, and of course, more ferns. You didn't hear that juicy tidbit from me, though. Yes. I'm glad you share the same enthusiasm as I do for ferns and banana plants. This should be done in a moment. I know it's just insane amounts of fun watching nothing happen. No, I actually almost forgot too. I mean, I would never forget. I'm not used to Tuesdays being stream days too. So I went to bed at like 1 in the morning last night, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to wake up earlier than normal. It's been a huge benefit of switching to working from home. I just kind of wake up when I feel like it. It's pretty great. Although I'm trying to switch my sleep schedule to going to bed earlier and waking up earlier. Yeah, it's 9:54 here right now. In this terrible state I live in. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm aiming for, I think. Right now, I've gotten used to staying up really late, so I can't fall asleep at 11. So I'm trying to push back to midnight and then waking up around 7-ish. Because before, I was working my main job, then coming home and working my other job where I work from home, and working on the game, and doing school. So then I'd stay up really late. Now I'm only working my work-at-home job and this. Much more manageable. And school. Still doing that. Now I am thinking about making some of these. Figured we could look while we're waiting on this. This, and I also work for a big asset creator for Fab, the Unreal Marketplace replacement. I make tree models, plants, that kind of thing for that company, and I also sell my own. So I'm trying to grow my little company too, but my company is much smaller. Shouldn't be much longer for this. I apologize for the wait. It'll be well worth it though, I promise. Oh, I haven't gotten to play those games yet, but I know about them. Oh yeah, I know. I've I've owned my very small business for about a year now. It's a lot of work. But I also freelance through my business, so that helps quite a bit. And it's quite alright. I was almost late myself. I was actually trying to do this part before the stream, because I know it's not very fun to watch what appears to be frozen screen. but definitely needed to update the distribution of where the trees are growing here. So that is what I'm doing. Yeah, I think the main thing I hate about having my own small company is dealing with taxes. Not fun. But it's starting to pay off a little bit. It's growing, getting more regular sales on the trees I make, that kind of thing. My main goal is to be able to work on this game as much as possible. That's a very specific question. Yes, I actually am making nettles. But I plan to put those in places like the meadows, things like that. I'll give you a little preview while we wait. I'm not going to pull up the models themselves because they're not quite where I want them yet. But the textures I'm using for them, you'll at least see what the leaves will look like. Ooh. That does not sound fun. I'm guessing you also own a small business? Yes, nettles are evil. Which is why I had to take control and make one myself. Don't let the nettles win. Ah, here we are. I was having to find this. So this is the texture I'll be using for the nettles. Sneak preview. Well, more than me. I have 3 people on contract right now. I do most of the work myself, but I'm trying to keep it that way, so. There we go. So now it'll be a little bit less dense. There we go. I still need to cut out some of this, though. It looks like some of the old foliage stayed. But now we can do that manually. I don't know. Do nettles grow in the jungle? I'm not sure. Yep. I don't make very much money through my tiny business, so I do what I can myself. I make more than I made at my main job, which was just a much more normal job. But most of the money I make comes through creating assets for the other company. So I'm trying to shift that a little more towards what I make with my own. Still a little bit more dense than I want. It's a work in progress for sure. Let's see there. Yes. That's the one I thought it was. I do not want that tree. I've done a little bit of front-end development, but I'm definitely not as knowledgeable with that as I am with Unreal. Let's see how it's looking up here. Yeah, it definitely kept a lot of the old foliage from the look of it. I'm going to manually touch this up, because I don't really want to sit through that screen again. I want more of the fig trees. I didn't know that. I didn't know that nettles grew in the jungle. Might have to do that then. Oh god. That was way more than I meant to plant. Paint. Is it as dense as it looks? It is. I really like these because they fill out the canopy a lot without actually placing that many more trees. But yeah, currently most of what I do to actually survive is just making models of trees, plants, that kind of thing. I guess anytime I'm home is kind of work for me now. Yeah, I plan to add some more varieties of fig trees soon because they're awesome and the aerial roots are cool. And I actually went and saw one in person yesterday and scanned it. Allegedly. Oh yes. Yeah, see, some of these, they spawned in the river. We don't need that. So we'll take care of that. I think the main thing is I need more really tall trees. So we're going to wipe these out that grew in the river here. Ignore the mismatch. That will be fixed. Yeah, I love having a ton of trees. It's genuinely my favorite thing about Nanite, that I can go absolutely nuts with trees and it's fine. My, well, this project too, but my other project, I have even more density in some areas because of the place I'm making in that game, and it's just insanity what you can do. But as you see on this one, there's quite a bit too. Like these leaves, those are all models. See those mountains? You can go there. As you see, this stream is still a work in progress. I keep going back and touching it up. My fault, I'm always tweaking things. I never just leave it alone. You know what? Ferns do make the jungle denser. You're right. Ferns are probably the best thing. We should just remove all other foliage and have only ferns. Horseshoe crabs, the alpha predator. And ferns. No further explanation necessary. I'm really not sure why I'm touching up this spot. This is a spot that I haven't worked on much yet, as you see with the very steep hill there. Oh, I fully agree. The branches over the river, I've been thinking about that, but thank you. You are correct. Those grow here, where I live. I see them pretty often. I actually have quite a few photo scans I've done of those. I don't remember if I put my sketchfab in the description for the video, but you can see some of the scans there of the swamp cypresses I've scanned. I published them for free, so they are downloadable. Same here. It's actually mostly because of this game that I've learned about trees more than I knew. I've spent so much time wanting to make things grow realistically and fit together, seeing if it put any under the water here. I've spent so much time doing that I had to learn about a lot of different trees in the process and see how they grow and that kind of thing. So this is the perfect place though to test this out. I've been working on distribution of foliage to make it a little more varied and not so dense everywhere. So this will be a good place to figure out what we need to do. Yeah, I didn't know we had any of these growing here, but there was a Ficus microcarpa that I saw in person yesterday. That's what I scanned. It was a pretty large one. I have one, but mine's only probably 8 to 10 inches tall. So definitely not anything close to a fully grown one. Now we need to wipe out the trees that ended up on this cliff face. Some of them, at least. Thank you. I was considering growing some of those bald cypresses or pond cypresses. They look almost identical. I know a little bit, not very much. I do. I've been working on what plants I want in the water, so you won't find it in many places yet, but they're definitely coming. I do have some out in the ocean, though. And in some of the streams you'll find around the map. It's generally the ones like this where I'm not happy with the result yet, that I haven't placed foliage in them. Oh yeah, that'd be good. I've actually made some of those too, so I already have some weeping willow models. Those things grow like crazy. I have one in my backyard, and it's insane. You can just basically drop a branch from one in the water and it grows. Oh, definitely don't want them on the side of this cliff. There are tons of rocks there already. I need to set up something to block them from growing on the cliffside. Thought I already had, but I guess not. We have a meadow biome that I only recently started on, and we have the desert biome, redwoods. We also have a small volcano area, the snow biome right here. Yeah, weeping willows just, they don't care. They'll grow wherever they want. Yeah, to me at least, I kind of consider the swamp as part of the jungle. But yes, we do have a few swamps. Oh yes, I love my redwoods. That is true. I do plan on putting swamps there, I forgot about that. So I'll tweak the foliage distribution here a little more later. It's not quite where I want it yet. A little too dense in small trees and not enough of the big ones. Might go ahead and wipe out some of them. Oh, I think I see the problem. There are almost none of the large trees I wanted to put here. That explains it. So we're going to paint a lot more of these and remove some of the medium ones. Oh yeah, quicksand is a good idea. Not sure how functional it'll be, but it could be there. So especially close to the edge of this lake, I want to have mostly larger trees and not very many of the medium ones. That actually is something I thought about. At the moment it's not, but I do plan on doing that. Let's remove some of the medium trees. There goes. See how that looks. Still a bit too dense. Like this. Okay, I think now we're working towards a little bit closer to what I wanted. Yeah, I was kind of wondering if anybody would notice if I did that with the moss, but it's something I plan on because to me that's a cool detail. that looks. Definitely still need to tweak it. It's just not what I'm looking for yet. But it's getting there. There are aquatic areas and animals, but I don't know the full lineup of what they're planning for aquatics. Here we go. So we're going to clear out a little bit on the shoreline area here. And I'll be changing the debris a little later on. Nope, didn't mean to leave those. Just a little bit. I think the main thing is it might be a little too dense on the bungalow palms, so I'm going to tweak that and come back later for this. So I think we'll move to a different area for now, because what I'm going to have to do here is going to take a lot of waiting and staring at a frozen screen. So we're going to move to a different area. I think we'll go... Actually, I know where we'll go. Let's take a look over here. So this is going to be some of our meadow area over here. So we could do a little work on that. Because what I'm wanting to do with the jungle, gonna have to do a lot of tweaking of the procedural volumes, things like that, so that would be a lot of staring at a frozen screen. Just a moment. Take a look. This should be the area I was thinking. Okay, excellent. Yep, this is exactly where I meant to go. Since I haven't actually built the minimap for all of this, it doesn't all look so clear when I'm looking at it. But first things first, it's been too long since a water simulation. So clearly we need to do one here. So there's supposed to be some water here in the middle. So we can go ahead and add that. Oh yes, it's been too long. Let's see. Try this out. I love doing the water simulations. Oh, I already have some ocean here. So I need that to not be there. We'll get that to go away in a moment. We'll probably want to flatten out some of this so that people can actually walk around it. A nice feature of a map. Being able to explore it. Perfect. So now the main problem I've been having recently with the ocean coming through in places like this is the way this ocean system I have is set up. It's supposed to only have one volume that can mask out where water can come through the ground, but there are some spots where I want it to come through. So I'm working on a solution for that. But we're going to try and make this work for us right now. At the very worst, we could always raise up the landscape here a little bit, then the ocean wouldn't be clipping through the ground. Oh, I completely forgot to say though, yes, I would love to visit the Netherlands. I have a feeling I'd be doing a lot of photo scanning there. I think Sweden might be one of the first places that I really want to visit. But the Netherlands is definitely up there. Let's see if the ocean is still going to be a problem. Norway does sound pretty awesome. Really just anywhere that's not Texas. I will accept it. So, while the ocean water is nice, it's not what we're going for in this spring here. So I think we're either going to raise it up or see if we can get the masking volume to work for us. Because I think it's only going to allow one. Yeah, that's what I thought. So we'll just raise up the landscape here a little bit. We do have a lot of cows, it's true. But I'm a little biased against Texas. I've been here my whole life. It's hot and humid all the time. Definitely not my favorite. Yeah, I'm gonna lift this up. The ocean is clipping through the ground here, which is not what we want. What is going on? Oh. Brain fart. Yeah, we're gonna lift this up so the ocean stops clipping through the ground here. And that will solve our problem. I can make this kind of a plateau. Let's bump up the strength of this a little bit. Yeah, the ocean water looks nice, but definitely doesn't fit this area. But it looks good out here. I do kind of feel like going out to do some scans today for things to add to the game, so I'm hoping I can find something interesting. I've been exploring this big forest. It's right on the edge of my city, and it's probably about 10 miles radius. It's an interesting place. Lots of stuff to find out there. Perhaps buried treasure, where I can live the rest of my life in solitude, working on Echoes of Extinction. This game is kind of a environment artist's dream, because there's just so much variety. You never run out of things to do. It is fun. I want to shape this up a little bit. It's a little bit too straight. Yeah, it's fun to just go explore that forest. There's a lot of unique areas there. Doesn't really look like the rest of my area. I actually just went out there the other day and made a leaf atlas for the river birches growing out there. Okay, now we can actually make... I'm gonna save this first, but we can actually make the little pond here now. The thing I'm considering is having water flowing down from this area. Just maybe. I get it. I have some issues myself. But luckily I'm still good enough to go explore a little bit. But I'm sorry you also have problems. It's not terrible. I mean, that's not fun. It is terrible. I think I mostly got interested in scanning because of using megascans in the different environments I would make, and I wanted to try it out myself. It took a long time before I got good enough to actually use the stuff I scan, but now it's actually usable. You gotta love rebuilding landscape meshes. Takes its sweet time. There we go. Okay, now we can actually make a nice little spring here. Yeah, shouldn't be too long. Should be able to explore it pretty soon. See how deep we can go with this. I don't know if we're gonna hit the ocean again. Gonna flatten this area out a little. I want to be able to walk around it. Yeah, I'm really excited to have everybody exploring and giving feedback so I can improve it even more. Because I'll be updating the map long after the game's out, so things will still change. I think we're going to smooth that out a little bit. And I'm really liking the idea of having it flow down into another pond. So I think we're going to do that. And we'll probably smooth out the base of this a little bit just so it's a little more explorable inside the water. And we're just going to put a crude cut down to here. This actually should end up being pretty deep. It doesn't look like it because of the view of the camera here. But this is probably about, I would say, 20-ish feet deep right now. But I do definitely plan to do some like that as well. A lot of the streams aren't quite where I want them yet. There are many of them I'll be going back and redoing a little bit of. I don't know much about that. I'm gonna look that up. Now you made me want to do it. I want to be that game. That guy. I will be that guy. I didn't know that. Definitely interested. I'm gonna see what I can do about that. I do want this to be deep enough to swim in, so I'm gonna take a moment to shape this up. Get it closer to what I'm looking for. That is insane. I don't know how I haven't seen this before. I'd definitely love to make something like that, from the sound of it. I'll definitely have to smooth out the ground a little bit at the base of the lake so people can explore it. But I'm mainly doing this to get some shape on the walls of it, if that makes sense. This should be pretty wide. I can come back and make it a little wider later if I need to. Mainly I want to make sure people can get in and out. Definitely have to come back and play test it. Oh no, playing the game. Oh yes. And I know there's still some work I need to do with the waterways. Some of them aren't deep or wide enough, so it's definitely one of the things I'm going to focus on soon. Right now I'm a little more focused on filling out the areas that we have, but I'm definitely going to make it a better place for aquatics and anybody who just feels like swimming. Absolutely, I love making maps. Totally looking up this lake in the background. Wow, that's a huge lake. I just looked up some pictures on Google Images. Looks pretty awesome. Gonna have to think about that if I can fit something like that in somewhere. That would be really cool. It's just that it would take a huge chunk of the map, so maybe I'll add more of an area for it. Yeah, that'd be a little concerning to visit there right now. Not sure I'd recommend it. Okay, water simulation time. The time we've all been waiting for. That's pretty awesome. I definitely need to learn more about that lake. Hmm. A little higher. Do it. I think for some of this, I'm going to kind of fake the path of the water. The cube. That would be pretty awesome. Definitely more of the world I want to explore at some point. Excellent. I was making sure it actually picks that up because I want it to flow a little higher than it would have. Yes, I did have a PS1. I don't think I played that game specifically, but I definitely played my PS1 all the time. My jam growing up was Spyro, the old Lost World Jurassic Park game, Croc. I also played this PC game called Outlaws that was awesome. It's actually still available on Steam and has multiplayer. Ooh, I'm gonna take a look at that. Wait, the new Oblivion or the older one? I guess the older one because he said nostalgia. Because I know the Oblivion announcement is today. Curious what they're gonna do. I never got around to playing Oblivion. I played Skyrim. I need to rectify this. Completely unacceptable. Ooh. So they released it today then. That's pretty awesome. We're gonna go a little crazy with the water sources. Who wants boring water simulations? Oh, you need to change that. They're wonderful. You definitely need to play it. Let's try this out, see how it goes. Usually I need to do the simulation a few times because it's not always going to be great the first time. Like that. See if it smooths out. Might need to add a little more of here because it's flowing out a little quicker than I wanted. I wish that would be cool, but it would be pretty heavy on performance if I left it simulating in-game. Personally, I just started with Skyrim. But I hear a lot of good things about Oblivion. I know, I feel the same way. I love doing water simulations. Still getting a little spiky at the... Might have to modify a couple things, because that's not gonna do. That's not normal. Actually, this might work. Let's see. Still a little spiky down here. But we're almost there. Yeah, water simulation can be pretty heavy. Let's cut down the velocity limit. See if that helps it. Still getting some spikes. I'll give it a moment though, we'll see if it settles down. You're absolutely right. This would be heavy. So I think the problem is if I leave this long enough, it's going to stabilize right here, but it's going to drain all the water up here. We'll just wait and see what happens. Yeah, I wanted a little bit more water up here. So we're going to try again. I think for one, we're going to add a little bit more right here. It does actually flow, and then I just bake the result into an animation, basically. So I'm calculating how it would actually flow, but in-game it's not going to have that kind of performance impact. Try this out. Oh yeah, that is a good idea. Might have to add that. I think we're almost there. Still need a little bit more tweaking. Yeah, it is pretty deep. It's about probably maxes out around 20 feet or so in some spots. A little more damping. Let's try that. I know, that would be awesome. Just look at that. Yeah, I think you're right. See, that is the kind of thing I need to fix. Yeah, I definitely think I'm gonna have a couple streams feeding this. Let's just smooth out the ground there a little bit. Let's see if that helps. Let's try that out. And probably after the water simulation, we'll end the stream because I'm a little hungry. Now, where's my spiky water in real life? It's on my other monitor, but it's still saving the landscape right now. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Some rapids would be pretty cool. Haven't decided yet where I'll put it, but I've definitely been thinking about it. So I think this will help a little bit. We'll see. I'll give that a moment to calm down. It really is. I love doing the water simulations. Somehow it's kind of relaxing. But it's almost there. What if we just make it a little bit more accurate? Yeah. It'd be pretty awesome. Try a little more damping, see if that helps. Yeah, it does kind of look like that. Not sure why it gets tripped up in this area specifically. So we're going to make it a little bit more accurate. See if it does a little better. Yes. Hmm. That might actually be worse. Yeah, if I set the simulation to a really high quality, I would have a better time with it, but the problem then becomes I would have to do just this little stream in sections. starting to smooth out a little bit. But I think I see what we need to do. I might end up doing that, but let's try this. I'm gonna give it a wider area to flow. That is a good question. That's something the programmers would know a bit more than I would. But I would think it'd be... we're going to try to make it as balanced as possible. Yeah, this goes. It just might work this time. Looks like it's smoothing out a little bit. I think what I'll do for that spot is put some rocks and things like that there. So for the moment, we'll keep this result. I'm going to come back and cover up these spots with some logs, rocks, that kind of thing. Okay, so now we can save this. That's working. Now the last thing we have to do is save this to a mesh. I know, I love doing water sims. I'll probably come back and redo this simulation later on, but I'm gonna place some other things to direct the water flow a little bit more. Perfect. Now it's saved. And that's that, it works now. But I'm definitely going to come back because I wanted this to look a little bit different up here. So we're going to tweak it a little bit. But thank you all for stopping in. I'll be streaming again on Thursday at about the same time. So I hope to see you all there. Have a good day.